wicked, wicked, what, wicked, yeah, what, 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 wicked, wicked, what, wicked, yeah.
I need a sedative, it's all become repetitive. Somebody go and say some shit and I think, should I let them live or fuck it? And introduce them to the honcho. Triple barrel shot into the body through they poncho. Pronto. All these rappers in quotation think the distances between us is an open invitation. Don't believe that. The reach is in a continental like the missile in my pistol. Keep your head up on the swivel, it's official. Hell's Kitchen in the kitchen, turn the heat up on the burners, cooking something for them bitches that's gon' bust them out they britches. Ain't no coming back for seconds. They last fucking supper, you can put that on the record. Go spread the word quick and tell them where you heard it. You've been alerted and it can't be diverted. We about to serve it like prophecy predicted. When I put one through that weekend, you got printed on the fitting. I stay wicked, 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 yeah. 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 I stay wicked, 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 yeah.
Hot lead at your back, call it sneak attack. Barbecue, let's feast up, load your piece up. I heard you talk shit, you and your rap dudes always on that same shit. Got me confused with another motherfucker. I got bad news, got your studio surrounded with some mad goons. Heard your latest song, dawg, it don't sound mixed. Should've hit up Reback, you want some clown shit. Ain't a thing, bring the pain on a dope beat. Y'all be wearing fake grills, hiding broke teeth. All that shit sound the same, we call that bootleg. Repeat the same bars over, that's some bullshit. Sleeping at your homie's house, on a Modi couch. It's Uncle Buck, best to get up through, smack your mouth. Let's keep it real, you don't wanna pull number. We lost the wheel, but it's still gonna be a black summer.
I stay wicked, 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 yeah. 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 I stay wicked, wicked every day. For me it's Halloween, nightmare of reality. I come to kill you in your dreams. You're afraid of fallacies and phony bitches you believe. Scary bunch of doors, not amongst them is a fucking key. Be a gauge, lock tight like Gorilla Glue. It's the end of day, scary bitch. Fuck you finna do? Take the fuck down before we cut your neck in fucking two and push my head up through the hole and make a necklace out of you.
Don't nobody love me, but I just don't give a fuck, ho. Everybody talking till I show up at the front door. Body in the truck and I can hear it still alive. So I set the car on fire and just listen to him fry. Oh no, now another rapper hoping for replies. I go right up to him, put a bullet between his eyes. Psycho, what they call me, baby, long as I'm alive. I know, said the wicked shit is never gonna die. I won't.
I stay wicked, 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 yeah. 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 I stay wicked, 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 yeah.
Hey, what up? What up? What up?
What up?
How's it going, chat? How's your day going, Buck?
Good. It's going
Nice.
good.
Appreciate you coming on.
Oh, for sure, man. Thank you for having me.
So how'd that song come about before we jump in here?
What do you mean, like?
The how it got created and how you chose to put Twisted and them on the track.
Well, obviously it's an interpolation of Chicken Head by Project Pat. and which I've always loved that song. You know, it's not like a sample. It's not like based on a sample. It's more like just a interpolation or like replay of it. And it's a song that I had an idea for that me and Boondocks were discussing when we were making the Paradigm Sync project. And when I came up with the hook for it, I just heard Jamie's voice doing the hook, and you know, just the whole chicken head, I stay wicked, man. I stay wicked, yeah. And you know, it was just kind of like, you know, Twisted would sound great on this with us. And we sent it to them and they knocked it out immediately.
Yeah, all you guys killed that shit
Yeah.
for sure. So you were born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. I've been here my whole life.
for sure. What was your experience like growing up? Like what all did you witness, and maybe stuff you've gone through?
Well, like what point of my life? You know, that's a
Younger years, like as a kid growing up.
uh as a kid, you know, I kind of my parents were more of a like a lower middle class family. So like, you know, my parents they made enough money to pay the bills and, you know, make sure we had food and everything was paid for. But I never really got to like experience having all the extra bells and whistles like that a lot of the other kids in my, you know, friends and age group. You know, my parents did good, and I mean, I got Christmas presents and shit, but like, you know, I didn't get like overboard Christmas presents like most of my friends did. So it was something I noticed as a kid. Like I understood that my parents, you know, I don't want to say they struggled, but it wasn't easy.
Right, scrape to get by kind of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, like I've never missed a meal and I've never seen the lights get cut off, nothing like that. But you know, when all the other kids in the neighborhood were getting like mongooses and redline BMX bikes, you know, when I was younger, uh, I wasn't one of them kids. Not in the younger years. As I got older, you know, my parents made stuff like that happen. But like, you know, if the new hit toy, the new it toy or it whatever came out, I would like get it 3 months later. I was never like the kid that like that had the stuff the week it came out.
For sure. And you think that helped shape and like become the humbled person you are today from those experiences like that?
I don't know if it made me a humble person. I think it made me be a more conscious father. Like it made me kind of have the attitude that I want my kids to have like what I didn't have. You know, I wanted to be able to give my kids the childhood that I probably would have liked to had. You know, I don't think I really looked like I was missing out on childhood until I got older. And then like I realized like, wow, I kind of missed, I'm not gonna say missed out because that's almost a selfish mindset because there's a lot of kids that don't have shit,
Yeah,
you know, like that didn't even have it half as good as what I did growing up. So maybe that's just kind of like the spoiled side of me, like thinking like that. But because I know a lot of kids like didn't have shit, but you know, I, I guess looking back, I would have liked to have had more. I mean, who wouldn't?
right.
But I definitely think it did shape me.
What do you have any family members in music background?
No,
No.
beside my son. But yeah, you know, up until he started doing music. Nobody before me.
What was it that got you into music?
Uh, just I just loved hip hop. Just the love of just the love of music. I just I started listening to hip hop early on, and I just loved it so much that I just started writing. I never ever thought like it could be what it is, but I just liked it so much. I was just trying to soak in every drop of it I could. When I first started making music, I was really doing it for myself. I never thought I would be able to make something good enough that I could present to the public and sell. It was just, I loved it so much. I just wanted to be like one with it, if that makes sense.
For sure. Oh, how old were you when you around started before you
Uh,
dropped
I
Welcome
would
to?
say probably 15, 16 is when I started like really like having like the love, of doing it.
Was that like early 90s?
Yeah.
Uh, with the release Welcome to the Ville in 97, that was your debut, correct?
That was my debut album. I actually dropped a cassette single in 1995 called Something to Creep To. It had two songs on it, and the song Something to Creep To was a single off the Welcome to the Ville album.
How do you shift your energy to re-engage an audience that seems disinterested or quiet during a set?
Uh, I mean, like I guess the first few times I've ever noticed like a crowd maybe not super engaging with me, I was thinking, damn, am I up here bombing this? But then after I would finish the song, like they would make noise and get into it. And then I would notice when I would start doing the next song, they would kind of like maybe not react again. And I used to be a little bit self conscious about it. And I realized, obviously, through doing years of shows and performances, that a lot of people uh, might not be familiar with my music. So they're more like trying to soak it in and actually listen to the lyrics. Kind of like the same idea if an established group that everybody loves and they're there to see and they do a brand new song for the first time, a lot of people don't react. A lot of people kind of more they want to hear it.
Right.
Versus somebody that's heard your song 100 times live and then they just want to like, act out and be a fool.
Because they've already experienced that. And
Right.
uh, now, on your songs, are they primarily based on real life experiences, or do you often create fictional narratives to explore?
I would say it's a good split. I mean, there's a lot of my music that were based off of real life experiences or things that I've been through or witnessed, and obviously, I've got a very creative mind, and I'm into a lot of other music and movies and genres of entertainment that I pick up inspiration from and just make creative music around it.
Who's your go-to artist when you need inspiration?
Musically,
Yes.
huh? I mean, I still say to this day, my favorite solo artist has always been Ice Cube. But I've also seen my music tastes, shift along the way. I mean, if somebody just said on paper, who's your favorite rapper, I would probably always say Ice Cube. But I mean, there's a lot of artists and groups that have been major influences and inspiration on this journey. I mean, just Public Enemy, Cypress Hill, Insane Clown Posse, uh, Esham. I mean, I could spit 50 bands or names, but like I feel like just the ones, right there that I've, given you, I've been listening to them, all of those bands for years. I mean, I started listening to Cypress Hill when their first album dropped. Same thing with Public Enemy. Same thing with Ice Cube. Uh, Insane Clown Posse. I actually didn't get into them until Riddlebox. I bought Riddlebox on the shelf the week it came out, which actually turned me into a huge fan of them. And I went back and got Carnival of Carnage, and I was listening to ICP for the longevity of their career, and obviously just those handful of names. I mean, obviously Twisted and Boondocks, and I mean, there's a ton of artists in our scene that that I have became fans of within the scene. uh and that's kind of I would say like the roots, the roots of where a lot of my inspirations come from.
Have you ever worked with Ice Cube?
No.
No.
Nope, never met him.
That would be some dope stuff. You guys cook up some dope shit right there. You
I
guys ever
think
get together?
so, yeah.
Uh, what was your favorite artist growing up as a teenager? Besides the ones you've obviously mentioned, but
I would say growing up, I would say like probably the first stuff that I started really listen, like what made me embrace hip hop and rap was Public Enemy. I really didn't listen to much music like late 80s and earlier. My parents, I actually grew up, believe it or not, like in a Christian household, and like that was kind of like forbidden. I mean, because the music that I was into or that I liked, like my parents didn't allow me to listen to it or whatnot. And I remember like in high school, like my dad finding like my cassette tapes, and I would like hide them, and he would like find them, and he would like make me go out in the garage with a hammer, and I'd have to break them in front of him. And like back then, like I specifically remember, Ice T cassettes, Ice Cube cassettes, NWA, the Trespass movie soundtrack, Cypress Hill. Like those were like the bands that like made me like love hip hop.
and that's more like hurts you more when you're the one that's got to break it too.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't do it. He would literally hand me the hammer and say, "You got to do this right in front of me."
Oh
I
yeah, that's
still
worth it.
remember I still remember I was waiting months for the Cypress Hill for the Trespass movie soundtrack. It had so many. It was like an all rap soundtrack. It had Ice Cube, Ice T, Everlast, Cypress Hill. There was just a ton of bands and rap groups that I loved that were going to be on that soundtrack, and they were advertising that soundtrack for months. And I remember the day it came out, I bought it at the mall, and I didn't know my dad was home. And I came home to grab something. I hadn't even opened the tape yet, it was still sealed. And I came out of my room, and my dad was standing there holding the cassette in his hand, and he was like, "What's this?" And at the time, I actually worked at a local cinema, and I lied to him, and I told him it was a cassette they were giving away as a promo for the movie because the movie just came out that weekend. And I literally had to go outside and bust it up with a hammer right in front of him, still in the shrink wrap. So,
No,
and I just went back to the mall and bought another cassette. So,
right.
but back then money was like a lot. Like back then a cassette was like a lot of money to me, and like so it sucked having to go back and rebuy something that I just bought.
It was probably what, $4 or $5 back then.
I don't remember, but I wouldn't be opposed to yeah, I mean, I would say probably $6 to $10. But when you're a broke teenager and you got a car payment and insurance and all that other stuff, like it's a lot of money.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah.
Worse now. It's horrible. Uh, what would you say was the specific trigger point that you made that decide to pursue music professionally?
I would say probably Ice Cube and Public Enemy. Like that was like what I was so influenced by and listening to like nonstop.
Do you have a time you received harsh criticism or a disappointing feedback?
Well, in the beginning, I was making my own stuff, and obviously looking back on it now, I think it probably sucked. And most of your friends won't tell you the truth. Uh, the real ones will, but like your typical friends are always going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." But I never really had negative feedback. I never really had people telling me like this sucks, you should give it up. Uh I had family members saying that, you know, family members that were just like, there's no future in this, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. But I never really had like a lot of hate from like people until I started getting bigger. And that's where I would see like the hate come from.
You ever have any run-ins with somebody in person that was maybe talking shit or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, I've had like haters, like people that would just be like, oh, you're Buckshot, your music sucks, you know.
Nothing like serious though.
Oh yeah, no, they were being serious.
No, like a fan coming like physically at you
Like
and
a
type
fan,
shit.
like now, or are you talking about back then?
Back then,
No, not really.
no.
Yeah, I didn't really start getting hate till about my second album. When my second album came out, that's right about that time is when I started like noticing like haters. Yeah, when I dropped my first album, I had a lot of support. I didn't really get much pushback or hate until after my first album came out.
What do you think changed that? I mean, is there more hate now than there was then, or has people like grown to respect you as an artist?
Uh, I would say, I mean, obviously, I mean, you could take any great rapper you like, anybody you listen to. I mean, right down to Eminem, ICP, Twisted, Tech Nine. I mean, just like those. I mean, there's people still to this day that says Eminem sucks. Like, I'm a big fan of Eminem. And like I understand not liking something. Like there's a lot of big music that I don't care for. It's not my cup of tea. Like I don't want to like say names, because like people take things to heart, but just because I don't care for something doesn't mean it sucks. Like it just means it's not my cup of tea. But like for obviously, I'll use Eminem as the example. For him to sell millions of records like he does, he obviously can't suck. But I know people who legit think he sucks. Like they don't like his voice, whatever. And a lot of music is very subjectional to people's tastes, because there's artists or people that I heard that I don't think it's good either, but people are buying it. So, to say somebody's craft or art sucks is just it's just very subjectional, because like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, if there's something that I don't like, I understand that there's people that like it, and like, you know, I don't like talk shit about other artists or people. If I don't like it, I just don't talk about it at all. So, when I hear people like that go out of their way to talk bad about another band, I always feel like it's like for clicks. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're just doing it for clout or clicks, because if there's something that I don't like, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it. If I don't like it, why bring it up? There's other things I can talk about. So when I feel like there's people that bring up, oh, this band sucks or that band sucks, I don't get into those discussions because I just talk about what I like.
Right. And like, there's times I like to clown around and shit, but nothing serious. Like, Laura says, if I don't have nothing nice to say about somebody, I just don't talk about them. Right?
There you go. That's
Necro.
a good outlook.
Necro has 3 times the amount of Spotify followers as Ouija. So,
Yeah.
you're beyond other musicians. What musical influences, like books or anything like that, shape your current sound?
Oh yeah, since middle school, I've always been a huge Stephen King fan. I've read, if I had to guess, 10, 12 of his books. I've read probably 30 Dean Koontz books. I've read most of Thomas Harris's books, which he wrote all the Silence of the Lambs books
Yeah.
that had to do with Hannibal Lecter. And, I've read all his books. I've read a lot of Dan Brown's books, who does the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, The Symbol. Uh, I used to read a lot more than I do now, because obviously I don't have time for it, but I do love reading. But I just don't have the time to do it now, what I like. But, books, I feel like we're a huge, I love horror. I love horror movies. I love video games. I mean, I used to be a huge wrestling head. Up until music started getting bigger for me, I never missed wrestling on Monday nights, like ever. Like, my friends knew, don't call Buck on Monday from 8 to 11 o'clock. Like, I wasn't going to answer my phone. Like, my phone didn't even ring. They knew where I was going to be, and that was for many, many, many years. But like, growing up, obviously movies, horror movies, gangster mob movies, video games, toys, wrestling. I mean, all that played a huge part into where I'm at now.
Who were some of the people that stood by your side the whole time? To,
Uh, well,
to, Go
Well,
ahead.
my homie Casey Hustle, he's been around since One More for the Haters. As far as somebody like long term, that's been around me. My boy Norman, I've got a day one fan named Norman, who's a homie of mine, and he was with me before Welcome to the Ville. He was like literally like a day one. I mean, there's a lot of fans. I know a lot of fans, but as far as like the people in my circle, you know,
Right. On a
uh,
personal earlier.
yeah. I mean, that's two that stand out. I mean, there's several, but like, that's two that, I'm trying to, well, he's a fan, but he's also a homie of mine named Josh. And, he's been down since Welcome to the Ville, and and if you're listening to this, Josh Schaffner, what up, Psycho Josh? But he's been down since before Welcome to the Ville. My homie Ron Jump, who's part of Mob Style now. He's my merch guy, but like, I didn't meet Ron till later on, but like, Ron has been a fan since One More for the Haters. Like I still remember meeting Ron in Lexington when One More for the Haters first came out, and he's been like down, he's been down since like day two.
Oh yeah,
So there's a lot of people that have been down for the long haul, and everybody that's associated in mob style. We don't really have new people like it. Everybody that's down with mob style has been around for a while.
how did you go about picking the name Mob Style?
Actually, mob style music was a name picked out between at the time me and my homie Big Sean Waltenberg. Actually, him and I came up with that way back in the day.
Is there a specific story behind it?
Not really. I think it was just our love for like like mob movies, gangster mafia flicks, and it was just kind of that would I'd say be like where it stemmed from.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up like yeah.
Yeah.
That's off your new album or one you just put on streaming platforms, right?
Yeah, that's off me and Boondocks' newest project. We just dropped Paradigm Sync. It actually just released on digital Friday. So it's brand new.
Nice.
Clock from the pocket, I'm launching a rocket, your head gone. Think I'ma stop, but I'm not, you just thought of your red wrong. Fucking with docs and I'm popping your top, and I promise you ain't nothing but a problem that I'm about to solve, yeah.
Bobbing like a metronome, mobbing to my second home. Squeeze until the lead is gone, after barrel head is blown. Take a map without a thought, that's the kind of shit I'm on. Saw the movie, missed the plot, Uncle Buck is in the zone.
Feasting the famine, I'm eating and damn it, I'm starving. Pieces keep stabbing, no peace for your ass and I'm carving. Seasoned assassin who leaving them bastards in parts, and they won't ever find you, so I do not need a pardon.
I'm not with your bullshit, watch me wave my scepter. Hit you with that full clip, hunt you like a specter. Spin that head like Luke Kid, I'm the beat selector. Bang it till you stupid, forget it, dementia.
Told 'em about the heat and the weight we holding. In the street, let them hate, they folding. Wars free, so cold, speed is frozen. They've been chosen. Haters on the radar, like ya. About to run the fade hard, like ya. Choke 'em out like Vader, like ya. Shut 'em down like Kmart. We the sickest, like ya. About to feel this, like ya. Center of the tempest, like ya. Land of the wicked,
I come with a heater, built and spitting bars are body bleeders. Metaphors are millimeters from the numbers, never greeters. Always angry with the grievance, no permission, just a reason. Leave your head in half like even reaving, death ain't no one breathing.
I'm fed up with fucking with all of you punks and it's over. Y'all better start with the ducking and tucking, Jehovah. Not gonna save you, I'm able, and I stay ready. Got one pointed at you, so just gon' hold it steady.
Been building my stamina, keep a record with camera. Snap a picture, no fan of a rapper. Mop 'em like janitor, flashing red like a matador. Waving flags and bandanas, or I'll just quit and say fuck it. You forget I got straps galore.
In a mission, they were wishing we would not continue. Proposition, and we listen, got 'em at the venue. Opposition by admission has been to offend you. If you come in opposition, end up on the menu. Told 'em about the heat and the weight we holding. In the streets, let 'em hate, they folding. Wars free, so cold, speed is frozen. They've been chosen. Haters on the radar, like ya. About to run the fade hard, like ya. Choke 'em out like Vader, like ya. Shut 'em down like Kmart. We the sickest, like ya. About to feel this, like ya. Center of the tempest, like ya. Land of the wicked,
Dude, that shit bumps.
Hell yeah. Glad
I
you're
like
feeling it.
Who did the beat on that one?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Definitely kill it. You all kill it. Like Boondock. I like that style of Boondocks.
Yeah. Boondocks killed the whole record, man. The whole album. He killed it.
Absolutely. So how did you get clicked up with George and all of them?
What do you mean?
How'd you come together and meet, and
Oh,
how that
just like
grew
how
up?
did I get introduced to George?
Yeah.
George George and I met. He was actually who booked me my first year at the Gathering when he was working for Psychopathic, and I don't know if he was actually employed with Psychopathic, but I know he did work for them. He was always Twisted's dude, but that's how I actually met George. George reached out to me and said, "We've had several people dropping your name to perform at the Gathering, and they wanted me to come out and do my first Gathering performance."
What was that like?
It was dope. It was what I expected. I mean, I've been listening to ICP since Riddlebox, so I was already like part of the culture. I was already like considered myself a juggalo, and just I was fucking with Psychopathic really really hard, and horrorcore music, and so uh, I'd obviously knew a lot of other artists who have performed at the Gathering, and they kind of gave me the heads up how it was. Uh, but it was none of it was a shock to me. It's what I expected it to be.
What's some shit that blew your mind there that you seen? Some of the wildest shit you seen at the Gathering.
Uh, I don't know if anything really blew my mind, but when I first started performing, somebody lit like I think it was like a brick of firecrackers and threw them at my feet. So I wasn't expecting that, but I was also smart enough to not react. So I just kept doing my set.
Yeah. Once you react is when it gets worse.
Right. So like I think some people were probably wanting to test me, wanted to see what my boundaries were, or what I was gonna do. So I just did the set and acted like I didn't even notice it.
I've took a mortar to like side of the face. I mean, mine during Cottonmouth Kings.
Yeah, that couldn't have been fun.
Nah,
I've had a mortar blow up in my face. I don't think it touched my face, but it wasn't a very pleasant experience.
no. I couldn't hear that set for like 20 minutes.
Right.
What was your gathering moment? Outside of performing, like experience that happened that involved you there at the gathering.
Well, probably not going to be a popular sentiment, but for me, my big gathering moment was actually seeing Cypress Hill for the first time live on main stage. But like, just Cypress Hill was like my favorite rap group in the 90s, and getting to see them live was, obviously very surreal. But I just remember just in general, just like main stage at the Gathering, like that Friday and Saturday, it was just it was amazing.
Yeah, just the powerful feeling.
I've seen ICP at other shows before, but like seeing them live at the Gathering, I mean, obviously when they did Wizard of the Hood, I was there for that. That was a pretty fucking awesome spectacle.
For sure. The the Wizard of the Hood set was
Yes. Yes. The last one, before it all went to hell. Yeah, that was a pretty amazing moment. I mean,
and it sucks to
yeah,
that.
the seeing Dark Lotus live for the first couple of times, that was pretty fucking epic to me.
Yeah, when I was in high school, as a teenager, we skipped school, stole a car, went to Dark Lotus, and then made all the way back. Didn't get busted with the car or nothing. Just
Fuck yeah.
we said, "Fuck it,
That's how you do it.
all for Lotus." What are some of your best collabs you've had? Some of your favorites, I should say.
Fuck. So many. Uh I think the Cabal projects, I think the pit that I did with Low Key and Mr. Gray is like a masterpiece. Uh that is one of my personal favorites. I think the Horde album that I did with Boondocks,
That's
if
a
we're talking about collaboration groups like groups that I've done with other people or projects, both of those albums to me were very special.
Laura says Double Dragon.
I mean, yeah, like Double Dragon, Big Trouble with Double Dragon, me and Kung Fu Vampire's newest project. In my opinion, it's like right there next to Cabal. It's like a musical masterpiece. Yeah, Kung Fu, when he just came down for Mob Style Christmas, him and I were actually talking about like how that album is just so good. Like if you've never heard that album, like you're missing out. Somebody should, if anybody who's watching this has not heard that project, you should definitely check it out. It's a musical masterpiece by my
For sure.
standard.
I agree with that. Yeah, everybody's shouting out your merch game too.
We take a lot of pride in our merch.
Swill said he saw you at Lights Out a few years back, and they stole the show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Seven Stephen Flo. So, what's in the works for Buckshot?
Right now, I'm actually taking a break. I uh I said to myself the last quarter of 2025 was so hectic. I said in 2026, I'm just gonna kind of like ease into everything. Right now, the next thing on the agenda is Loon Squad's project. Uh I don't have any plans right now for Buckshot. Like there's no announcement. There's nothing close to being done. I do have a ton of production done, a lot of beats that are mind blowing. Uh, yeah, I actually, today was the first day I went into the studio this year. I actually went in and did three collaboration. I did three features, but I have not recorded anything myself yet. I actually, for the first time last week, started writing again to some of the new beats that I have, and I can say I have some amazing beats. And I mean, I do have projects like titles. Like I know what will be coming out, but I just don't have an announcement for it yet. Like there is a plan, but right now my ultimate plan is just getting Loon Squad's album and Timbo's albums, but both of their projects. Loon Squad first, then Timbo. But that's kind of like my that's the checklist right now is getting their projects done and put out.
So probably more like late summer, later fall,
Uh
26.
I mean, I've recorded projects in 2 weeks before, and they were in my hands in a month. So I can't say a date because sometimes I'll just get a wild hair up my ass and like
Just
Hunter
release it.
Games. When Hunter Games came out, I literally wrote and recorded that in like 8 days, and it was never a thing. It was one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? I think I want to drop a new project for Halloween, and I literally put it together in the same thing with Blockwork Morgue with me and Blaze. Me and Blaze did that, wrote and recorded that 10 days from start of inception. From the time I got off the phone with Blaze when I was like, hey, you want to do this project? And he was like, let's do it. 10 days later, it was done.
I just listened to that album today. That's a good album.
Yeah, no, I actually listened to that album about a month ago, and I was like, wow, I forget how many of these projects that I do that like, I do so much music. Sometimes I forget about shit, and like, I loved doing that project with Blaze.
Yeah, you fuck. How many albums would you say you put out? I know there's a fucking huge list, but
Well,
rough.
full length albums, I've done 8 albums, but like EPs and collabs and all the, I think like on my digital discography, I think there's like 90 releases. That's albums, singles, EPs, everything. I think I have like 90 releases.
Oh, yeah. What if you could change one thing about the music industry? What would it be?
One thing about the music industry, I think all artists should get paid more for digital streaming.
Yeah, because you guys like to get pennies, right?
I mean, like Spotify, they pay 0.006 cents per stream. That's not a penny. That's 0.006 of a penny per stream. Just even if artists got a penny a stream, it would be a night and day difference in what it is.
That's insane. Why do you think they do that? Why do they charge so low or pay so low?
It's just like the nature of capitalism. Like the people who have the cards and hold the cards, they want all the money. Like I get it. I mean, I'm not condemning it, but it's just how it is. It's like the billionaires keep getting richer. If you don't like it, you should do something about it. But there's a lot of artists that I know personally who make amazing music, and it's not getting streamed enough to where they're making enough money to make it substantial. Like, I know some very, very dope and talented artists who should be way bigger than what they are because their music and talent is head over heels. But you know, sometimes talent and capital, like the money to put out that talent's not on the same page. And if you don't have the money or the sense to do the right promo and advertising for that music, it's just not going to be heard unless you just get lucky and the right person hears it, you know and sometimes it doesn't seem fair, but that's also life. Like life's not always fair, and you just have to make the best of your hand.
For sure. Like a person I think that's still truly really underrated is Liquid Assassin, the homie Liquid Assassin.
Oh yeah, Liquid Assassin, stupid fucking dope. you
Yeah.
know
And I hope he's getting better. Shout out to LA.
yeah, no, for sure. And like in my opinion, like Kung Fu Vampire, to me, I think should be way fucking bigger than he is. Kung Fu Vampire is a very dope, underrated artist. Like he should just, in my opinion, Kung Fu Vampire should just be a lot bigger than what he is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
His live performances, I mean, like just I'm not going to sit here and do a KFV stroke fest, but like Kung Fu is just a dope fucking artist. He's
Yeah,
dope on the stage. He's dope in the studio. He's a great person. He deserves it. But like in my opinion, as big as he is, I just feel like he should be bigger.
yeah. I've seen him quite a few times at the gathering and outside of the gathering too.
As amazing as an artist he is, he's even a better human being. He's
Yeah.
a very good person. I actually consider Kung Fu a personal friend of mine. A lot of artists I look at like rap homies, but like Kung Fu is like he's actually a friend. But he's a good guy. He's a really good person.
When people look back on your career in 20 years, what is the single most important thing you want them to remember your
What, like,
remember for?
remember my career by? Just that I had
The
fun with it. I had fun doing what I wanted to do. You know, I'm still a fan of this. I'm still very passionate about the music that I make, and I just had fun with it. And you know, it's always been about the music for me. You know, obviously when you're running a business and you have to make money to support the business, obviously you do have to make financial decisions that makes it work correctly. But you know, putting that to the side, it's always been about the music to me. If I ever get to the point that I'm not having fun creating music, I'll never do it for a dollar. It's never ever been about making money. It's always been about the music for me.
What's the legacy you want in the music world to leave behind for the next generation?
What do you mean? Like, as in,
Just in general, like maybe something you're trying to create for the next upcoming artist.
I mean, I guess I've never really looked at it like that. I work with a lot of upcoming artists. I've worked with a lot of artists who, in my opinion, haven't been getting the shine that I think they should get. And I've seen a lot of artists that I've worked with, you know, getting bigger and getting shine. Uh, but I guess I really don't look at what I'm doing. I mean, I understand it is leaving behind a legacy, but but I guess I'm not, you know, in my head, I'm not doing it with the aspirations that I'm trying to be some trailblazer for other artists. I mean, I'm just making music that I like and making art that I like and love to do, and hopefully it will be an inspiration to other artists, you know, for to other artists who hear it and they're like, damn, you know, Buck's doing what he wants to do and what he loves to do and he's having fun with it. So that's a good path to follow.
How do you want to be remembered as a person
Uh
outside music world?
yeah. I just want to be remembered as a good father. You know, my friends, all my friends, they know my heart. Uh you know, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes like anybody, but I always try to do the right thing. I've made my share of mistakes, and trust me, a lot of the decisions I have made have been wrong, and I'm not close to perfect, at not by any means. But my real friends know my heart, and you know that's how I'll, you know, how they judge me, because you know, even if I make a fucked up or wrong decision, they understand it's not some ulterior motive behind it. I mean, sometimes I just don't make the right decisions, but ultimately, you know, as long as and my kids do know I'm a good father. You know, my kids tell me all the time how lucky they are to have me as their dad. But like, honestly, that's all I care about. And I've not been a perfect father, but my you know, my kids don't look at me like a perfect dad, but like they know that I love them. You know, even if I've made wrong dad decisions, they know I've never done it, like, you know, outside the path of trying to be a good father, because naturally dads make wrong decisions and they make decisions they're not proud of. But you know, the whole point of life is picking it up, and you know, taking your mistakes and righting your mistakes, and going a different way to make your mistake make sense and make life better.
He just wants to know the correct pronunciation of Louisville.
Louisville.
Louisville?
Louisville. Some people say Louisville. I've caught myself saying Louisville. Some people say Louisville, Louisville. Uh, I've heard some people say Louisville. That's you don't hear that. People who say Louisville don't live here, but I would say majority of people that live here say Louisville.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Uh, what are some of your favorite and least favorite artists you've worked with? Or not say really in that perspective, but the
Well,
easiest and hardest or whatever.
favorite artist that I've worked with. I mean, it's Tech Nine is a homie, but it's always been a pleasure working with Tech Nine. Uh, we've done two songs together, and one of the songs I actually went to Kansas City and he recorded his song while I was down there. But I mean, Tech Nine, that was an awesome experience working with him. Chris Webby, who is a personal friend of mine as well. Chris Webby is an awesome person and artist. Uh, that was a great experience working with him. Uh, but I would say a standout artist is definitely Tech. I will say, as far as professionalism, Twisted has like some of the fastest turnaround I've ever seen with like work. Like anytime I've ever reached out to them, if I had to guess off the top of my head, I don't know, 10, 11 songs we've done together, and they always have their vocals done like before anybody else. Like they're on their shit.
Oh yeah, that's what I like about them. Uh,
Jamie
what?
Madrox's the quickest artist I've ever worked with. Jamie will like have his shit done in one day. There's been many times that I've sent Jamie a song and literally one day, 2 days later, it'll be back in my mailbox.
That's good. Yeah, it's a hell of a turnaround. What you got? Any favorite moments with them? I know you just came off the Freak Show tour, the second leg or whatever. Did you have any good moments on that one?
Uh Trying to think of like if a moment stood out with Twisted. I would say a moment that stood out, not in person, but when they reached out to me to be on A New Nightmare, which that was the first album they recorded when they left Psychopathic. That was a pretty cool, epic moment. A band that I grew up being a fan of, and they asked me to be on their album. That was a pretty awesome Twisted moment for me.
Yeah, Jamie's definitely up there for sure. Bump, dude raps his ass off. Uh, you have any favorite cities to perform?
I will say on this last tour, I've never performed in Charleston, South Carolina, and the reaction they gave me, what you would have thought I'd been there 20 times. That was something that stood out of the whole tour. Obviously, Worcester is an awesome city to perform at too. But like I said, the fact I've never performed in Charleston before, and the reaction they gave me was pretty jaw dropping.
Loud ovation, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah, just they were just like
Big
really,
crowd.
really into it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been that way for a show.
That was my first time.
Laura says you need to come to Denver. Damn it,
Right. I think I've performed in Denver 2 or 3 times. It was always at the Roxy.
the Roxy's dope. Shout out to Scum. Uh, is there any other memorable moments in music you're glad you've encountered?
I mean, that's a very broad question. I mean, there's like hundreds. I'm just trying to think of something that just like stands out
Stand
amongst the rest.
right?
Uh, I mean, being on the cover of my newspaper for music, I've been on the cover of my newspaper here in Louisville twice. That was a pretty epic moment.
What was that feeling like?
Just wow. I mean, like they don't really do stories about rappers like rappers like big rappers. You don't really see big rappers on the cover of the newspaper, and I was like a local rapper that actually made the cover story. So it was a pretty big deal.
That's dope. Actually, your hometown fucking uh, giving knowledge and shit. That's dope.
Yeah.
Um, what's your top five all time artists? Any genre?
Top any artist favorite genre, any genre, top five like artist.
Yeah, no specific order.
Eminem, Ice Cube, Cypress Hill. I'm trying to like not pick all rappers because like I do like a lot of music. Uh, Dr. Dre, and I'm gonna like force myself to like not pick a rapper. Um, this is hard. Like you're asking me to like pick a favorite. So there's tons of bands I love, but like to pick a favorite. Uh,
Or maybe a go to, your go to.
wow. Like everything that's coming to mind is rapper, rapper, rapper. I'm just trying not to like think of a rapper. Uh,
Hey, it happens sometimes.
I don't even want to name it because I can't think it right now.
Big Mark says Taylor Swift. um, what's one artist that you would like to collab with that you haven't yet?
Cypress Hill.
What is it about them that you want to collab with?
I mean, I've just that they were just like they were my favorite hip hop group. You know that 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 they were like one of the groups that made me like love hip hop, and just I've got all their albums, and just I've just been a huge fan of them since day one. I mean, it could happen. I've got the connection. It can happen, but like they're not going to do it for free, and they're not
Right.
cheap. It's not
Uh,
like we're homies, like I've got the connection to make it happen, but it's a lot of money.
I could just imagine.
I mean, they do stadiums and arenas, like they're in a whole different, they're in a whole different league than I'm in.
Yeah, they done did everything that they could do. Uh, I don't have anything else planned really. Is there some things you'd like to talk about that haven't went over yet?
Not off the top of my head. In the back of my head, I'm still trying to find a fifth something band, something that's not rap.
Or What's one silly thing that people don't know about you?
Well, I'd say how much I love dogs, but I think everybody knows that. Uh, I mean, I'm a huge gamer. I don't know if that's technically silly, but I mean, like I'm like a real gamer, not like, I'm a gamer.
What do you play?
I'm mainly into RPGs, but I mean,
Like,
I was always like a Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Fallout, Elder Scrolls kind of guy.
yeah.
I'm a huge fantasy person. My favorite movie of all time is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And so, obviously, role playing games, all the role playing games I'm into are just like, really fantasy based.
Uh, Cody was asking, what was the story that the newspaper covered about?
Just talking about like, my coming up, doing music and, kids and parents and just, a typical, just typical. Like, obviously my name was starting to get real big and they were just kind of wanting to like see what I came from.
Where can people find your all your stuff, merch, and everything?
My website is mobstylemusic.com. And that's all of our merch is all on off that website. And I'm pretty heavy on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and social medias that you could find me on all of those. And for the most part, I do keep all my notifications turned off, and sometimes it takes weeks before I respond, but I usually try to respond if and when I can. But no, if I don't respond, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I literally don't have notifications. Because if I kept my notifications on,
Good, just
it would
well,
it would deplete my phone in an hour, and it would drive me insane. So, sometimes just if I get unbusy and I just decide to check messages or notifications, I do, but I just don't have notifications turned on, period.
for sure. Uh, any other news or anything? Like maybe from outside of Looney
Oh,
and
Loon Squad. Nope,
yeah.
just me and Boondocks just dropped our Paradigm Sync album. It just went up on digitals, but we do have hard copies, and that's on the website. But that's the newest album that's out, and we're pushing right now.
Big Mark said ask about having Backstreet Boys member Kevin Richardson on a track from his album No White Flags.
Yeah, yeah, I did a song with Kevin Richardson from the Backstreet Boys.
Would
Yeah,
you,
Kevin's actually a friend of mine. He's from Kentucky, so he's from Lexington, and Kevin flew me out to L.A. He flew me out to LA in the early 2000s, and I stayed with him for 3 weeks. I actually lived with him in his house.
is that on? Is that song on streaming platforms?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
called "Say It Ain't So." It doesn't sound like no Backstreet Boys shit. It sounds like some Buckshot shit. I actually wrote the chorus and he sang it. So, but we
What was it
recorded
called? You
that.
said.
We What's that now?
What'd you call it?
Oh, the song's called "Say It Ain't So."
Say it ain't
But
so.
yeah, we recorded that in his studio in LA. He has a studio out there called Red Ronin Studios, and we used to go to the studio every day and just mess with music and record or whatnot.
You mind if I pull that up quick?
No.
Yep.
It's plain to see they never will love me, cause I'm making moves, blowing up Kentucky. 4 albums strong, this beat won't quit. Took the trip to LA on some big boy shit. Came back with a whole new outlook, with a dope beat and a song. Your man said Bukshot, would it hate you? But them bitches hate, them bitches can't fade you. They can't touch me, you can't see me. Always talk about me, but you wanna be me. Tell me, Mr. Hater, is it really so? Did it really make you mad when you heard me on the radio? Yes, calling up the radio station. Now put Bukshot songs in rotation. Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm sweaty. Hate me if you want, but you never will forget me.
I don't understand why these haters wanna test me. Say it ain't so, I know they won't accept me.
Say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so.
Even if I blow and I'm driving in a Bentley, you and I both know they won't respect me.
Say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so. Everything I do, everybody copies. Please do your own thing. Back the fuck up off me. You be you, let me be me. Quit trying to duplicate everything you see. You can't be what I am. Do what I do. Couldn't even understand if I wanted you to. This is my style, B.I. Watch me destroy every song that I rip. I'm a big white boy. You can't play with my boys unless you take them. Cause I fight like a pit bull. Watch me shake them. Send them to the flow. Broken like promises. So you better run like Saddam and Osama. Run! I know what you're thinking, looking for a way out, cause your boat's sinking. Can't nobody stop me, can't nobody save you. Say it ain't so, as the mob comes to raid you.
I don't understand why these haters wanna test me. Say it ain't so, I know they won't accept me.
Say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so.
Even if I blow and I'm driving in a Bentley, you and I both know they won't respect me.
Say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so, say it ain't so. Feed, fight, foe, come and spill the blood of the hated one. The one with the heart, the one with the hustle. I'll tear you apart, muscle by muscle. Let it be known you ain't fucking with this. I've been running this spot since 96. Cause I've been dropping more hits than the mafia. Say you're gonna stop me, huh? So what's stopping ya? Some say I got the deal on lock. When I do, little bitch, get off my block. I explode like a lyrical Glock. And I outline microphones in chalk. Please go home. You don't wanna do this. I'll pop your eye. You can call me bruises. Bringing more drama than me know. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
I don't understand why these haters wanna test me. Say it ain't so, I know they won't accept me.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Even if I blow and I'm driving in a Bentley, you and I both know they won't respect me.
Say it ain't so. 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 Oh. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Oh. Say it ain't so.
Was definitely not expecting it to be like that for sure.
Right.
That was actually pretty dope.
Oldie but goodie.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on
No, thanks for having me, man.
for sure. Yeah, fucking thanks to everybody in the chat. Hope
Yeah,
everybody
shout
has
out to everybody that was hanging with us tonight.
swell. That's funny.